Good morning. I just wanted to come on here and discuss a little bit about the fact that it seems to me, in my opinion, that our food processing plants are being targeted by some kind of nefarious groups. Whether that be outside or inside groups, I do not know. I do know that there are reports of 96 now various food processing plants across the U.S. that have been hit by cars, planes, fires, explosions, you name it, okay? And it's knocked them out of business. Now, I don't know if you are paying attention to that, but if the United States food market goes down, that's going to disrupt the entire global system. The reason I say that is right now we live in a global economy. Okay, we're kidding ourselves if you sit there and think that, oh, what happens over in Ukraine does not affect us. It does affect us. Okay, logistically, we are connected by the supply chains to pretty much every country on the planet in some fashion, even if it's indirectly. Okay? So, if we have disruptions here, that's going to affect the global markets. And it is having an effect. Okay? Our stores right now have not increased their prices to show the exact repercussions of these fires, okay? And I'm trying to choose my words very concisely and clearly because I don't want to offend anyone. And I want to be very clear about how I bring my point across. So if I pause in the middle of a sentence, it's not because I'm trying to be dramatic. It's because I'm trying to think of the correct word. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit old, and it takes me sometimes a little bit to get my words together. So, the repercussions of this, we're going to see, and we're already starting to see a little bit of it, but it's really going to come off the chain, okay? As we used to say in the old days, that person's done gone off the chain. In other words, it's going to be like you've never seen before, okay? We are starting to see a little bit of it with the meats, but this is going to go into just about everything that we have. And the reason for this is Kansas, which is one of our biggest wheat growers, is recording probably one of the worst wheat harvests that they've had in years. So, we know that wheat goes in a whole bunch of stuff. We know that corn goes into a whole bunch of stuff. The Colorado River right now we know is at historic lows. Lake Mead in California, historic lows. Montana is having historic melts of the glaciers that they have in Montana. And that is causing downstream, that is causing massive floods, specifically Yellowstone. I'm sure y'all have seen that on the news, and you've probably heard about it on the news. So we've got that going on. Okay. Now, because of the increased prices on things, this includes the inavailability of parts, the increase in oil and various fuels, including jet fuel, diesel fuel, gasoline. The increase in cost is going to drive the prices up, but it's also driving those of us who drive big rigs and who there are people who are owner operators who are now shutting their trucks down and going to go drive company trucks because they cannot afford the price of diesel in order to keep their trucks moving. Now, some of you do not understand this. You're like, well, it can't be that high. All right, I'm going to break this down to you because I realize that as a non-trucking industry individual, you probably do not realize how much diesel one of these big rigs can go through in a day. All right, let's break it down here. Most big rigs have anywhere from 6 miles to the gallon to 11 miles to the gallon. 11 miles to the gallon is the newer rigs. 6 miles to the gallon is pretty much the standard for the older rigs. And their fuel tanks hold anywhere from 100 gallons to 150 gallons. I have seen some that were specially made to hold 300 gallons. That's 2 fuel tanks, each holding that amount of fuel. A truck goes anywhere from 600 to 800 miles a day. That's a day. So you're looking at, on average, 100 gallons of fuel a day. If you're looking at, I'm just going with this with the lowest and the cheapest that I've seen, which is $6 a gallon of diesel. Per day, $600. Times that times 5, you get my picture. Okay? Most trucks actually, owner-operator trucks, actually stay on the road for 3 weeks, and then they go home and they shut down for 3 days. This is just standard operating procedure for most over-the-road trucks. Local trucks normally go anywhere from 50 miles to 200 miles a day. And some of the regional trucks can go anywhere from 100 miles to 400 miles a day. That adds up, babies. That does add up. So those costs are not going to be swallowed by those trucking companies. Those costs are going to be passed on to the brokers, who are going to pass that on to the shippers, who are then going to pass that on to the retailers who are buying the product, who of course have got their fingers in the pie, and they're going to pass it on to you and me. Okay? It is a vicious cycle that we've gone into now, and I am just telling you bluntly, and I'm trying to be as blunt as I can be, that the cost of goods and services is going to go off the chain. Okay? You need to, now that you've seen this and now that you recognize this, you need to sit there and prepare yourself and your family for this. Okay? Now, also, because of this, the power stations, okay, here we go. The power stations, when they go down, they run on backup generators. Those backup generators run on what? 90% of the time they are running on diesel. With the increase in price, I guarantee you that power companies are going to have rolling blackouts. Our infrastructure is so old, they cannot at all, they cannot keep it going. They really cannot. Okay? If you have the ability, and I know not everyone does, and I'm one of those not everyone's, if you have the ability to get yourself some kind of backup generator, I would recommend, if you can get it, solar. Okay? But if you can't, get the cheaper gas generator. I want you to think of this as an investment, because even if you don't use it immediately, you'll have it there for your family for if the power does go out. Okay? And you also need to think of things such as, how do I keep cool? How do I keep hot? Okay? Because winter is coming. All right? Winter is coming, and prices are going to go off the chain. So with winter coming, you know that the cost of heating your home is going to be off the chain. Okay? So you need to think of that too. All right? But my main point today was to give my perspective as an individual in the trucking industry. I am telling you, from the bottom of my heart, I am telling you, please, please get stuff. Okay? And by stuff, I know you hear it all the time: food, water, generators. Okay? I'm talking, if you need cotton balls, if you need medications, you need to get them now. If you need antibiotics of some kind, okay, you need to get it now. Okay? It's available. The Jace Medical is a good company that you can go through. They have it. Get it now, because in a couple months, I don't think it's going to be there. And I can't believe I'm saying this in the United States, but I honestly don't believe it's going to be there. I honestly don't. And I think this is going to blindside a lot of people. I really do. So with that, I'm going to talk with y'all later, and y'all have a blessed day. Bicycle.